What is it that you learned last year that you're taking into this year, you personally?
Man, it's a million things. It's a million things, but it's about being efficient, and sometimes less is more in every way. But being efficient in all three phases. You're looking for the inches, that are everywhere in regards to the difference between winning and losing. You lose 4 games by 3 points. You lose in overtime. You lost a 7-point game to the Big 12 champions. Okay, so what is it? Okay, it's third. Let's look at that 3rd and 18. Let's start there. Late in the 4th quarter. What broke down, and so you're constantly finding ways to be a better a leader from an efficiency standpoint, and then you're always finding ways to be a better teacher. You fail your way to success. A lot of people don't like that, but that's the truth of the matter. And you have to get scarred up. You have to go through it so that you can get to where you want to go. And so no matter how uncomfortable and sickening it makes you along the way, you learn through failure and being uncomfortable. That's where the real growth happens. And success is the worst teacher there is. And so we've worked really hard at teaching, situationals to our team, where we got to learn to, good teams complement each other, not compensate for each other. And then again, if you peeled everything back, and then we got every part of our organization has to be better. If that's the recruiting, if that's game day ops, if that's elite recovery, if that's nutrition, if that's our dining facility, if that's soul mission, if that's the weight room, if that's elite recovery, certainly the X's and the O's and game day management. There's no area that's hands off. We got to get better in every single area. And so for us, it's about being efficient and then learning situational football. And we've worked really hard at peeling back things to our players. How do we lose those 3 points? A lot of times it happens what happened in the first quarter. Maybe it's the first drive of the second half, and they bring it out to the 50, and it's bang bang bang, and they scored that 3. Because we misfit the opening kickoff. There's so many plays, and so the game will punish you, for doing the little things wrong. And again, if that's a coaching issue, if that's a scheme issue, or that's a technique fundamental issue, if it's just a guy trying to make a play instead of let the plays that are to be made, let it come to you. And so all of those things are really important. But you peel it all back, we got to get better on defense. And if we can get incrementally better on defense, we'll be a much better football team. And that's in every part of what playing good defense looks like. Improving on defense. It's not just one place. It's roster, it's scheme, it's situational, it's physicality, it's technique, it's the fundamentals, it's the understanding. And that's a nonstop work of art. And even when you have a lot of success, believe it or not, man, the very next year you go right back, you strip it all the way back down to the studs, and you start over with culture, with expectations, with standards, because you're always having new players. Even if it's just 2 guys that's new, you go right back. And human nature is to start. I've always felt like well-managed success is harder than well-managed failure. And when your back's against the wall, when life brings you to your knees, that's when you're going to start getting connected. That's when you're going to start looking for a source higher than yourself, right? For me, I've always had my guard up, even, whether it's through failure, and I've had plenty of it. I had a whole life's worth right here this last season. I've never been on a team that's been 6-7, and I don't like it in any way. But, I've got clear vision on what we got to do to improve that. And, but I think that the failure, even though it, tastes sour, kind of like that Sour Patch Kids, you put it in the mouth, it's like, wow, water your eyes. But, you just keep the faith. Next thing you know, there's a sweet spot here at the end of that thing. So that is what'll happen. And but you got to keep the faith. You got to have clear vision. You got to be willing to adapt and improvise, or again, change course when and if you feel like you need to. And but man, you've got to don't deviate from your beliefs, things that values that foundation in what it takes to be successful. And so I think being able to show up every day, like I've been a paragon of perseverance my whole life, and I've been an underdog my whole life. That's how I came up, as a walk on that somehow found a way. I found an open door at Kansas State, and I immediately found a way to create value for myself as a player, and then being hired as a coach there, and then create an opportunity for the next opportunity. And so you do that by, again, being a paragon of perseverance, man. No matter what, man, you keep showing up with the same mindset, the same attitude, the same belief. Good things come from a source of positivity, but also got to be real and open and honest with yourself and with others. So it's all about people. At the end of the day, people make the place. Getting people to buy into what you're asking them to do. I believe we've done that, and Danny's an example of that. And again, I want to recruit people that believe what I believe. And there's a value to education. These guys are babies. These guys are not NFL players. They're 17, 18, 19-year-old guys, many of them that are lost. They don't know what the 40-year-old version is going to look like. They're very insecure outside of this thing called ball. And they show up in here and they got this thing, white knuckled, because this is what they've been told their whole life they're really good at. So there's a comfort right here. And they're afraid of a life without the game of football. So, there's only so many hours in the day. You can't do football 24/7. These guys are trying to find themselves as men, as leaders, as believers, as, trying to find about who they are. What are their other passions outside the game of football? And I believe when you have a healthy person that is happy with himself every day, he looks at himself in the mirror, that the good things on the football field will transpire. They'll come from that. I don't want a dysfunctional environment where it's all about ball and it's all about just the win. The winning and the success is a byproduct of everybody being committed to a lifestyle of doing their best and chasing excellence every single day, autographing all their work with excellence. And that's a mindset. That's a mindset. And just focus on doing your best. Don't be outside in and comparing ourselves to Texas or the Big 12 to the SEC. None of that stuff matters. We got to get it right here in this building. I got to get it right here in this office. And then it's got to transcend to everybody in the organization, So that's where it all starts. That's not real sexy to people. I know what the this will be my 15th year in Norman, Oklahoma. There's nobody that has a clear understanding of what the expectations and what the standards are here. There's all different kinds of ways to get there. And my job is to recreate that. And it can't happen fast enough for me. But I don't look for what's the quickest way we can do that, the easiest way to do that. I'm not going to compromise my beliefs, my values, the things that I know inherently what it takes to be successful for the long haul. And, there's only one way. It's hard work. It's showing up every day. You got to get calloused up. You got to get scarred up. There's no elevator to where we want to go. You got to take the stairs, and and if you're not intentionally stepping and climbing, 1 foot at a time, you're inevitably going to slide down. But that's where I think 6 and 7 taught us a lot. Everybody in a program. For me, man, I've show up the same every day. If anybody says, "Oh, describe Coach Venables for me," they're going to say he's the same guy every day. Okay, he's going to be a voice of truth. He's going to be a person of accountability. He's going to be a doer. He's going to be about it. If I said this is what I'm going to do, then that's what I do, and I'm going to follow through, and I'm going to finish what I started. Those are things that I believe in, and I need to make sure that all these guys, they understand what they believe in. That's the challenge too, as young men. What do you believe in? What's important to you? You know, who do you want to be? When you look in the mirror every day, what are you going to be happy with? And there's a totality to that. And so the Soul has a program. I'm looking for guys that value that, and not that want to, you know, use the University of Oklahoma to get what they want. You know, this is a you know, a developmental game, and life is about developing. And who you were when you were 17 is a hell of a lot different than who you are now as 38, 40, 42, 52, whatever it is. And but for us to get our guys where they deserve to be as football players, you know, as men, as one day husbands and fathers, man, all of it matters. And that's what I love about this game. This game is amazing. It teaches you so many amazing transferable skills. They're going to help you dominate whatever you get into next when the game's over. But make no mistake, the game, you can't play it forever. And so let's freaking maximize this small window, this vapor, to play the game that we all love, all right? And you're living your best life right now. You know, that's a reminder to our guys all the time. Like, you dreamt your whole life about this opportunity. Don't take it for granted. And you know, you don't get to do this thing twice. So maximize this small window, you know, give it everything you got. There's a price to pay either way, man. You got to show up and put it in every day. And if you do that, and you're somebody that really deeply understands what being a paragon of perseverance, what that looks like, man, you just show up every day. You just go all in every day. Man, I'm giving it everything I got. And that takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of belief. And it takes a lot of toughness to do that. But it takes toughness to win and be at the top of the mountain in this game. And so that's what we're trying to create. But if you say, well, main one thing you got to get better at to not be 6-7 again, we got to get better on defense. And our guys have taken full ownership, as well as, you know, us, starting with me, you know, as a coaching staff. If that's what we're putting on the field, that's all of us. It's not, oh, well, that's them, or that's, oh, I got to get my guys. There ain't none of that. I got to get these guys to buy into what we're doing. It starts there. And then put the work in. It starts there. And then I got to get them to go out there and execute. You know, play with incredible effort. Play with toughness. Play with an edge. You know, play with precision. You know, think the right way. Understand situational football. And no matter what, man, we keep striking. We keep the faith no matter what. When everybody else is tapping out, we keep the faith. You know, we believe. You just keep going back at it. And when you do that, that's what persevering is all about. You know, you don't know. It's like that picture of that guy with a, you know,
pickaxe.
Pickaxe. He's in there. He's picking. He's on the ground, and he's looking for gold, right? And you just keep. You don't know what's on the other side. That's why you just keep striking. And everybody else, it's hard sometimes for people to lose their vision, you know, when things aren't giving them the result that they want. I get that, but I'm not like that. I'm not like everybody else. And I'm looking for guys that have the similar type of mindset. And my job is to get it out of them, you know, as the leader of the program. But you develop that, and you nurture that, and you recruit to that.
Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.